Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, this is one of those stories that just refuses to go away. The buzz around the NFL, especially in Chicago, is heating up, and it's all about a potential blockbuster trade that could redefine the NFC North and, more importantly, the Bears' championship aspirations. The whispers are growing louder as we approach the November 4th deadline. Sources close to Adam Schefter have started to hint at a major move that could send shockwaves through the league. We're talking about the Chicago Bears eyeing a cornerback swap with the New York Jets, specifically targeting Sauce Gardner, the All-Pro star at just 25 years old, and the Jets looking to rebuild and gather draft capital after a tough start to their season. Let's take a moment to understand the significance of this. Sauce Gardner, who burst onto the scene in 2023, immediately established himself as one of the premier shutdown corners in the NFL. Last season, he was a key piece of the Jets' defense, earning All-Pro honors and putting up numbers that compare favorably even against the best in the league. His stats are nothing short of elite. Only 6 touchdowns allowed in 6 games this year, a passer rating of just 1-0 when targeted, and a man coverage win rate that's knocking on the door of 80%. Think about that. This guy is literally shutting down receivers and making quarterbacks think twice before throwing his way. His 85.2 PFF grade in 2025 places him among the top 5 cornerbacks in the league, and his ability to blanket receivers, especially in man coverage, really makes him a game changer. And here's the big picture. Gardner isn't just a shutdown corner, he's also a versatile playmaker. He's racked up 24 tackles, snagged an interception, and recorded 6 pass defenses in just 6 games. His size, standing 6'3" and weighing around 200 pounds, gives him that physicality and length that reminds many of Revis Island, that legendary lockdown corner. Since coming into the league, he's been a cornerstone for the Jets' defense, and his trajectory suggests he could be a franchise-defining player for years to come. Now, the Jets, sitting at 2-4 and clearly in a rebuild mode, see trading Gardner as a way to gather draft capital and start fresh, especially with their draft odds now hovering around plus 12. 0 to win the Super Bowl. They're looking to turn their focus to the future, and with Aaron Rodgers' twilight season, it makes sense for them to pivot toward a rebuild, especially when considering the potential return of a second-round pick in 2026 and a promising corner like Kyler Gordon. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, would the Bears really do it? Trading away one of the league's top young cornerbacks to boost their defense? Well, the answer is nuanced. Chicago's secondary has shown flashes of brilliance, but it's also been a bit of a work in progress. After their impressive 4-2 surge in the NFC North, especially following that Week 7 win, the Bears are masking some defensive vulnerabilities. Tyrique Stevenson, their promising rookie, has been sidelined with a shoulder injury that will keep him out for about 4 weeks, and Jaylon Johnson's hamstring injury has him listed as questionable for upcoming games. These injuries have strained the pass defense, which currently ranks 21st in the league, allowing an average of 232 passing yards per game. That's not the kind of consistency you want when you're aiming for deep playoff runs or a shot at the Lombardi Trophy. Adding a player like Sauce Gardner would not only immediately upgrade their secondary, but also send a message to the rest of the league that the Bears are serious about contending. Pairing him with Jaquan Brisker, who's been solid this season, could create a formidable duo that would be tough for any quarterback to exploit. Brisker's effectiveness is evident. He's been able to hold quarterbacks to a completion percentage 42% below their expectations, and he's contributed with 5 interceptions and 22 tackles. On the other side, Gardner's shutdown ability could allow the Bears to be more aggressive on third down, increasing their third down stop rate by over 16%, which would dramatically improve their chances in close games. The Bears' defensive coordinator would have a field day with such a tandem. Imagine the possibilities with Gardner locking down one side and Brisker playing the center field role. The trade rumors suggest that the Bears are looking to bolster their secondary further with a second-round pick in 2026, and their interest in Gardner is reportedly serious. They're hoping to solidify their pass defense, which, given their current stats, needs a significant upgrade. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league, and having a true lockdown corner like Gardner can change the entire dynamic of a defense. It's about disrupting timing, forcing turnovers, and creating opportunities for your offense. The Bears' offense, led by Caleb Williams, who is thriving with a 92.1 rating and an impressive aerial yards total of 218 yards per game, is already potent. Williams' ability to stretch defenses with his play-action passing and his accuracy, surging by 18%, makes him a true franchise quarterback. But to win in the playoffs, you need a defense that can keep opponents in check, especially against high-powered offenses in the NFC. And speaking of the NFC, this potential trade could have ripple effects beyond just the Bears and Jets. The NFC North is already competitive, with the Lions and Packers making strides, but adding a player like Gardner to the Bears could shift the balance of power. The odds for Chicago to win the Super Bowl have already improved significantly, from plus 4,500 to plus 2,200, thanks in part to their recent performances and the possibility of adding a game-changing talent like Gardner. The defense's impact in the playoffs is often underestimated, but with Gardner's 1.5 passes defensed per game, top 10 in the league against deep routes, the Bears could become a nightmare for quarterbacks trying to pick them apart. Their pass defense, which is currently allowing 198 passing yards per game, could see further improvements, especially if Gardner's presence forces offenses to become more conservative. Now, what about the long-term implications? Well, a trade for Gardner wouldn't just be about this season. It would signal a clear intent from the Bears' front office to build a championship-caliber team around Caleb Williams and a stifling defense. Gardner's addition would provide stability and star power in the secondary, allowing the Bears to focus on other areas like offensive line depth and pass rush, where they've shown some progress but still need to improve. The sack total has been steady at 16, thanks to better back-end coverage, but adding more pressure and disruption could elevate their defense even higher. With a player like Gardner, who's not only elite in coverage but also capable of making plays on the ball, the Bears could be turning a corner and establishing themselves as serious contenders in the NFC. Of course, the Jets' side of this equation is just as interesting. They're in a different phase, more of a seller than a buyer right now. With their draft capital and cap space strained, they're looking to retool, especially on defense. Kyler Gordon, a promising young corner, could be part of the package, along with a second-round pick. They're also focusing on shoring up their offensive line after allowing 24 sacks this season, which is below league average but still a concern for a team that's trying to protect its future quarterback. The Jets have been trying to find their footing without Rodgers, and trading Gardner could be a way to accelerate a rebuild, gather picks, and set the stage for future success. Now, let's talk about what this would mean for the Bears' Super Bowl chances. The odds are already trending upward, and adding Gardner could be the final piece that pushes them into serious postseason contention. The defense's ability to create turnovers and defend against the deep ball is crucial in the playoffs, and Gardner's presence would give the Bears a real edge. His 1.5 passes defense per game and the ability to challenge deep routes, especially in the NFC where the competition is fierce, could be the difference between a good team and a championship team. It's about creating a fortress at Soldier Field, a place where quarterbacks are hesitant to throw, and where the Bears can leverage their home field advantage to full effect. Looking ahead, the Bears' strategy appears to be about aggressive moves to position themselves as NFC contenders. The recent surge in Super Bowl odds from plus 4,500 to plus 2,200 shows the faith fans and analysts are starting to place in this team's potential. And Gardner's addition would be a statement move, one that says, "We're here to win and we're not backing down." The secondary will become a nightmare for offenses, and with Caleb Williams leading the charge on offense, the combination could be lethal. The NFC is ripe for a team to emerge as a dominant force, and the Bears are positioning themselves as one of those teams, especially if this trade materializes. So fans, it's an incredibly exciting time to be a Bears supporter. The possibility of landing Sauce Gardner isn't just a rumor, it's a signal of the team's ambitions. It's about building a defense that can withstand the best in the league, giving Williams the support he needs to flourish, and ultimately chasing that elusive Super Bowl. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so thrilling. We'll be watching closely as the deadline approaches, hoping that this potential blockbuster happens, and if it does, it could be one of the biggest stories of the season. The Bears' future looks brighter than ever, and with players like Gardner potentially donning the navy blue, they might just be on the verge of something special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Gardner could be the piece that finally pushes the Bears into serious Super Bowl contention? Or do you think the Jets will hold on to him and focus on their own rebuild? Whatever your opinion, it's so important to us, and it's a big part of what makes being a Bears fan so special, being part of this passionate community. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Chicago Bears news. The season is heating up, and with every game, the story gets more exciting. Thanks for sticking with us, and let's keep that Bears spirit alive as we head toward a promising future.